Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Jesse Jackson III. I'm the best-selling author and facilitator of the Don't Kick 'em Out book and training series and the Closing the Leadership Gap book and training series, which I'm so proud of. Our Don't Kick 'em Out is over 100,000 educators trained in our process of personal development, student development, understanding how to manage student personalities that are in conflict with the learning environment, and leadership skills, developing leadership skills in today's marketplace, in today's post-COVID education area. One of the things that we have seen this school year, I'm in the middle of closing out my best school year of our practice. I have been at this for 17 years, and I always admittedly say, I know I have been at a very elite level the last 7 years. I've been at the top of my game for the last 5. I really found my way in terms of expertise, and I have seen the results of it. Being one of the most called professionals during COVID-19. So everybody's at home, people, don't know what to do. I'm talking about administration, state governments. I mean, they're clueless, man. They don't know what to do. They need a trusted advisor who they're certain will always tell them the truth, who knows what they're talking about. I pride myself, and I like to always tell people, I get paid to be right. What does that mean? Opinions is not what we need. We need expertise. When you have issues with cancer, you have to have an oncologist in there, and you have to have people that have expertise in specialty areas. Mine is school culture and climate, and there are factors that impair that, and that's typically why people call. Those are hurt areas for folks, and they're going to call you about those areas. They don't realize that the climate, the culture behind it is what's really driving the symptom. So as we end this school year, what I see is very, very important is that it's going to be imperative for many school teams, district teams, to use that summer just like, ball players use the summer, basketball players use the summer to get better. As a former coach, a champion, 2-time champion coach, I always slip that in. Our summers is when our group got better. We use the summer for skill building, for competition development, and this is what you have to do at a school period. Now, I know we're out in the summer, so this is what tells you there has to be a method to it. There has to be strategy to it. We can't waste summers for development, just wasting time with box checking in services. As a professional trainer, I am always doing the caution. I had a group of superintendents in my training this morning, and I have the caution that we can't afford to get caught up in the in-service business. We have to have training. Training is growth and development. It is growing the organization. It is working on a specific issue and working our way through that. Did you know the average institution post-COVID has at least 15 open initiatives? That means they're trying to do 15 things at one time. Everybody knows that isn't even prudent. It doesn't even sound right, right? So there needs to be guidance. So let me show you. This is what we're dedicating our summer to. The summer for me starts, we'll probably have to start it early, but it starts for me in June, July, August. So that's the time I do. People are resting and relaxing. I find the time to rest and relax every month. I do have specific blocks of family time, taking my kids to colleges and to treatment trips with me just to get better, hang out. But I dedicate my summer to what's called the Summer Institute. This is where I give schools specifically. So we're not doing days at that time. You got to commit to 2 days, 2 to 3 days. You bring in all your admin, right? You bring in all your admin. So this is whether at the school level or the district level, right? And we work for 2 days. We build and grow the organization for 2 to 3 days. It's the Summer Institute. Here's some of the things that we, over the course of this time, we can really lay things out because you have time. Challenges for the next 5 years, and you tell me what means a lot to you. Health and safety, employee morale, keeping your staff from burnout, school culture and climate issues, race management, leadership growth and development, trauma management, central office and building principal conflict, employee retention, enrollment, poverty mentality management. What does that mean? Poverty is a mentality. And so poverty is so thick in so many places, it's dominating and killing the education process. The district doesn't know what to do, so it's engaging in poverty-based policies. For example, I always make the statement that we cannot tolerate fighting on campus. That's something you have to, that's the one behavior, you got to shut that down. You can't let fighting incur. They sent me a video that came out of Arkansas where a kid just beat a teacher up. Okay. See, this is what I'm talking about. Those poverty-based policies where you think you're helping the kid by restoring justice and doing things like that. None of those models were developed to be misused like that. Okay. You got to know what to do. You got to know how to deal with poverty orientation and poverty mentality and this poisonous extreme behavior that comes from poverty, mental, and that you have to know how to deal with it and deal with it forcefully. The purpose of everything we do is for safety and teaching and learning. So if we're creating a policy that made us more unsafe, where's the logic? That doesn't even make sense. And that's what's happening. What does that say? We need to get back to the table, right? You're talking about student attendance. Every school that I work with, they had an issue with school attendance, but we need to know what level is bad, right? Post-COVID. I mean, where are we at? We're over 90%. I know what the government is telling us, but we got to be able to identify what we're doing well and just get better over time. COVID brought a lot of us down to our knees and to a baseline of zero. And this year, for many of us, we started a school year over and we're trying to run off fast and stuff, and we're rebuilding the organization. Well, if you got a football team and you're the Carolina Panthers and you got the #1 pick, when you're building your program, or you're the Houston Texans, #2 pick, and you're building the worst roster from last year, and you're building a program, you have to build a program. Why in education are we always trying to run fast, keep up with people, burn ourselves out, die, get sick, go on medical, miss days, and then just get replaced? And nothing ever gets done. Listen, the standard is teaching and learning. Everybody can learn, and we give max effort to it. The expectations have to be adjusted. They have to be. Expectations always have to be adjusted. Standards don't. You don't adjust the standard. This is the standard. When you come here, this is what we do. Expectations you have to take into account what you're working with, what you're dealing with. Post-pandemic, unsafe community, fighting going on in the community, crime issues in the community, economic hardship, excessive trauma. You have to make adjustments for those things. Your standard never comes down, but my expectation and where I start is something I can manage. We've never heard that before. We've never heard that. Student behavior, let's take a look at it. Are our policies working? You can do that 2 to 3 days with me any way you want. Around the school board can come in at night. You can do it around all your principals. You can do it around central office, but having the multiple days allow us to do some follow-up. Go home, reflect, listen to what you heard, come back with questions. That's how you do it. The one-day training process is really, really tough with all the real issues we have going up. You know, I had to a group that had some serious stuff going on. But they tried to slip it in one day. That doesn't work. And it puts the pressure wrong on the group, because we're having a heavyweight talk, but you want me to rush it and get it in one day when you have to be able to stretch it out because you got so much going on, right? Classroom and student management, fighting, student suicide, parent cooperation, learning issues, poor testing processes, and trust issues. What do you want to work on in your organization? Are you dealing with behavior issues, student management, classroom management? We got teachers that don't know how to work with the kids. Or do we have teachers that are trying to improve their learning practices? Do you have leadership group that really struggled this year staying on the same page? Do you have young administrators? And when I say young, not age, they just came to the district, new to the school, and they're struggling. You have to use the summer to help your organization get better. You know your teachers are going to need help with classroom management. Bring them in over the summer for 2 or 3 days so they can learn the skills. I guarantee you it will be one of the most valuable educational experiences of their life. If you have a classroom management institute with me for 2 days, I can guarantee you that your teachers will be over prepared and will be in the right mentality and confident to start that school year out and understand what they have to do, not even short term, but for the long term. That's what our Summer Institute is for. If you know you want to use your summertime, and this is whether you're an East Coast school, you get out late in June, or you start after Labor Day. I use 3 months of my calendar to do this. It's only sets up, it's 2 to 3 days. Right? And you get multiple books for the presentation of my bestseller collection. You can pick which books you want for your staff that's going to be attending, whether it's leaders or your teachers. So for the follow-up. So it's one of the best packages I have. I use that 92 days over the summer. We got 30 days in June, 31 in July, and another 30 in August. We use those 92 days. I probably cut those in half, and I offer about 50 of those days to schools to commit to. We want 2 days of training. Come stay with us for 3 days. One district has already said, can you come for a week? We're going to stagnate our organization in and get you all pieces of the organization because we're in the process of a culture overhaul. When you are doing a culture overhaul and you really want to reset your organization, you're not going to have the luxury of being able to let your feelings be hurt by the brutal reality of dealing with reality. COVID was devastating to most organizations. It exposed every weakness in our program. So you might have had high level of academic performance, but the stress that management was under to keep the boat afloat has now yielded consequences to our relationships internally. Yes, we love each other, like each other, work together, but there's conflict in the program. Principals are stressed out by the initiatives of central office, even if they don't tell you, right? So this is why I always say, let's break this thing down. Give everybody their time to diagnose the situation and bring the thing back together. The master key to organizational success is, can I keep 90% of all of our staff on the same page? If I'm a superintendent, can I keep 90% of my central office on the same page? Can I keep 90% of my principals on the same page with their buildings? Can I keep 90% of my board on the same page? 90% of my teaching staff. Nothing's going to be 100% because people, when you're moving an organizational matrix around, a lot of times people are working in our organization just because they need employment. And that's not always bad, but they're not in tune with the mission and the community. And so sometimes that's a process. So 90% is our standard of what we look for. That is a training process. If you know you need help with behavior in your district, in your school, you need help with classroom management, you're a superintendent that you got to help your central office and your principals to find the page for success. If you know you're dealing with things like absences and how do you get parent cooperation? How do we build trust? Or you're dealing with a matter of race issues and diversity, take the time to bring in, use the summer. Our Summer Institute, pound for pound, the best. The groups that spend high quality training time with us always get better results. These dates will book up immediately. I wanted to tell you all about them. They're going to roll out and be below. You'll see where the blocks are. Please reach out early and secure some block of space for your district or your school. This is the type of training that really builds capacity. And this school year, we've taken some huge leaps in our programs. We have some of the largest districts in the country. Some of the most high profile districts in the country are trusting us with some very critical matters within their organizations. Why? Production. We've proven that the way we approach things helps and forces folks to grow and develop. One person described me as an interrogator of reality. There are brutal realities that go on in our district. There's a difference between a toxic culture and a negative culture. They're not the same. Sometimes there's negativity in an organization, and it's not always bad. We have to interrogate it. See, because the issue might really be negative. Toxic is another matter. Toxic behavior is something that we cannot tolerate in an organization. Toxicity is like mold. Mold can be there and eating and spreading, and you not even know it. This is why you have to have the right training process to bring the level of success that you want to your organization. I am extremely proud of our record. Our record speaks for itself. We've seen over 90 plus schools achieve the A level on state report card testing. We've seen 17 of our schools in our time reach blue ribbon level. And we have seen a huge portion of our flat out low performance schools starting in D and F. We've seen them dig out of there with growth and get themselves get up to D's and then get up to C's. And then now they're threatening a B- this year because they dug themselves out of the culture hole. Culture and climate, what we believe, how we behave, will work and putting your energy on clearing that up will never get you beat. Most organizations need assistance with it because it's very difficult to do it internally, because what we have found is the sensitivity within organizations has increased. So a lot of times when organizations try to do an internal training process, the trust isn't there. And people will kind of go along with things they don't believe in. And there's so many people that are just oblivious to the lack of connectivity of a principal in a building, and they'll call them malcontents. And it just creates an ongoing poisonous, toxic relationship. And who loses? The career of the principal, the teachers, ultimately the children, our city, the state, in our country. You know you need help. Our Summer Institute was probably going to make about 20 units, 2 or 3 days available. They will book up soon. I'm bringing all my clients from last year. They're coming back with me. So they're going to want time. When you see the days there, you know your group needs help. Please act on it quickly. I would love to work with you. I would love to help you start to work accurately and positively through many of your issues and break those barriers down, and now make those pillars by which your organization is built. What we believe, how we behave, the standard that we set for helping our employees and the students we serve. I'm Dr. Jackson. I'm looking forward to working with you soon. It's going to be an electric summer this year in 2023. I'm just looking forward to working with you soon, seeing you in person, visiting your district and your school and your city. Looking forward to it. Be well, friends.